Welcome to a new experiment that I've done. So, following on from other videos I've done, I wanted to see what would happen if I made the most perfect player um, for not the biggest of countries. So, in this case, where I'm from, Australia. So, what I did was I picked a player from Australia who was, I think, 16 at the time, and I maxed out his stats and locked him in place using the editor. And I wanted to see how far he could go over his career and what kind of stats he could for, theoretically the greatest player of all time. Um, and so I've already run through the 2 decades almost of his career. 2 decades, yeah, almost 2.5 decades of his career, which has already ended now. And I just thought I'd walk through what that looked like for that, what impact it had on the country, and what impact it had on any league he went to, and also things like the Olympics and the World Cup. So the player I picked was Ethan Faust, and as you can see here, he's already retired, so it's a bit harder pulling up his information. Because from this point, he actually retired the day before, and so then it all rolled over, and it's a bit harder to pull up his things as easy. So this is his second season numbers. So originally started off in Canberra, the capital of Australia, um, and at Canberra United Academy. Um, and he had 7 appearances for 11 goals, which I don't think anybody had. He's the only one who seemed to have been recorded. Um, and then the next year, so because he was youth, so he didn't leave. Then the next year had 5 appearances for 6 goals. And then after that, he wasn't there. So what happened was he then got transferred, if we can pull it up. I think it was this year, yeah. So what ended up happening is Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga ended up signing him on a free transfer when his contract ended. So if we jump into Wolfsburg and we look at their schedule and we go back to that season. So the season before that, they weren't doing very good. And the season they get him, they start doing better. Um, start doing not too bad. They get, they got through the to the semi-final of the Europa League, which isn't too bad. We just look at their goal scorers to show. Yeah, so if you see it, you see Ethan Faust all over the place. Boom, 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 boom. Um, Scoring a lot of goals in most of the games. So, you know, and they continued on. Um, there's 4 goals in this game, 3 goals in this game. Um, I think four maybe the biggest ones he scored in a single game. But yeah, like most weeks he's scoring, most games he's scoring. And then what ended up happening is, if we look through the history, transfer history, um, we're out. Not yet. I know they ended up selling him to. I think he got sold anyway. I know he ended up moving to Bayern Munich. They went to Bayern Munich. So if we look at their transfer history, and we look for, I think it's some good players, didn't they? Aha. Oh, okay. So yeah, he ended up leaving Wolfsburg on a free transfer when his contract ended. That is why it wasn't obvious. Um, so if we then look at the competition history, why, while he was, I don't know, look at by the schedule, while he was with them, I've got the goal scorers on just to make it a bit easier. Yeah, so then he joined them and plenty of goals as usual. Um, there's a lot of games where he's getting a lot of doubles and singles. He's not scoring every game, but um, as you can see, they won the Champions League final 3-2, and he did score um, on that. He also scored again in the Champions League final the following year versus Tottenham. Now, I mean, stupid question. Did they win the Bundesliga? Yes. Bayern win it pretty much every year. So, of course, he scored in Champions League final the following year as well, being City. Um, and at this stage, he's not there anymore. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what happened was, just for some variety and see what a player could do versus sticking at some of these clubs for 15, 20 years, I thought it would be easier. After he won triple Champions League finals, um, I terminated his contract. And so this is 28, 29. Um, yeah, I terminated his contract so he would move on somewhere else to a different league. So 28, 29. Where is he? He is not showing up. Let's look him up. Okay. I mean, this is back to the summary anyway. So what happened was, yeah, he played for Australian Academy, went to Wolfsburg, played 85 games. Bayern Munich, he played 98. And then I released him from Bayern Munich, and then he went to Manchester City, and he played 105 games there. They won the Champions League a heap of times. I then released him to force him to move on to another club. He then went to Liverpool, where he played 175 games, 136 goals, and then I released him there, and he went to PSG. Now he's getting older at this stage, so he was in his 30s when he went to PSG. Um, so he played 139 games, 135 goals, and at that point, I just thought, like, let's see how he could push on once he's past 35. So then I released him from PSG, and he went and joined Barcelona. Originally, he joined Barcelona under a trial. I think they put him on trial, and then straight away signed him up to 400. I think 400 grand a week. Um, and then he played, I think, 4 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 seasons for Barcelona. Uh, 40 to 45 seasons he played. And then he retired at 40, and that was the day before this current day in the save. So, if we have a look at it, now there's a lot there, and there's a lot to show. It doesn't really show it, but basically, he had the max stats in everything except like the bad personality traits were the lowest. Um, and as you can see, so he's been recognized. He's won the Australian, yeah, Olympic Games best player on 3 occasions, under 23 Asian nations most valuable player, top scorer, um, young footballer, Asian footballer of the year under 3 occasions. He won the World Golden Ball on 31 occasions. World Player of the Year, 31 occasions. Under 21 Football Player of the Year on 3 occasions. European Golden Boy twice. German Footballer of the Year 5 years. Player of the Year 5 years. Because he was in Germany, how many seasons? Three, six, 6 seasons. So that's not too bad. European Golden Shoe, 19 occasions. 50 goals a season on 18 occasions. Wo- Eu- European Champions League Golden Boot on 11 occasions. European Champions Cup midfielder of the season on 3 occasions, which is funny because he was a striker who had some ability to play in attacking midfield positions. World Cup Golden Boot twice. World Cup Young Player of the Year. English Player of the Year 7 occasions. English Premier League top scorer 7 times. Champions League forward of the season 26 times. Club World Championship best player 3 times. Club World Championship top scorer 3 times. Spanish Player of the Year on 10 occasions. Spanish Division top scorer on 6 occasions. Um, Spanish League Player of the Year on 10 occasions. That is pretty funny considering he only played there for 5 seasons. Um, Not really sure how that worked out. Um, so in total, I mean, he he scored hundreds of goals. So it's like 300, 400. Yeah, I mean, he scored 6 to 700 goals in his career. Uh, oh, sorry, 6 to 700 appearances in his career, and he had, I mean, it's probably like 500 goals. Internationally, he had 132 caps, and he scored 224 goals. He did retire from the international team. Um, Personal tally: 228 first places, 47 titles, 14 second places, personal and the team. Um, so, question is, what impact did he have on Australia during this period? So, if we look at hmm, world rankings, so this doesn't really show it. Um, yeah, it doesn't. It's a bit hard to show the world rankings. Um, okay, so if we maybe look at through, nope. Okay, if we go back to 2020 um, and fixtures. Now, he didn't really play this year. I'll flick to, okay, so we got goal scorers on here. Yeah, so 2022, he wasn't really playing. Um, I think they still hadn't picked him. They started picking him at this stage. So they picked him for the World Cup qualifiers, and he's scoring doubles in a lot of games. Um, and obviously that continued on because in the number of games he played, he scored quite a lot. But um, as you can see, some calendar years where they are winning most of their games. If we just keep going through, third round of the World Cup, but they got knocked out in the quarterfinal. Obviously, just having an awesome striker doesn't actually mean you're going to win if you have terrible defense. So Bhutan 19. I don't. How many did he score in this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He scored 14 goals in that game. 14. And it was not a friendly. Wow. I mean, it's not a good team he played, but still. Um, yeah, I mean, as you can see, they had a lot of success. Asian Cup wins, a lot of friendly wins, um, and friendly losses too, but um, not really pushing through in the World Cups once the World Cup's actually on. Um, World Cup quarterfinals, stage Group B, second round of the World Cup. losing in the third round to Wales. Yeah, losing in the second round in the World Cup. So even with a great player, we're up to the current. So he's already retired. So he's not playing in the current World Cup. Um, yeah. So and if we look at the world rankings, Australia now 10th. Um, Now I believe back in 2020. Um, Let me just double check where we are. So how far did so Australia when this started would rank 41, and so at their peak with him they got to 10th. So yeah, not too bad. Um, anyway, so that's what could happen if you had the best player in the world playing for a smaller country and how they could go. So yeah, feel free to pause and have a look at all the things he won. Too many to name. So I plan to do this with some players in other, uh, even smaller nations globally, and see what potential impact that could have. Um, Australia does go to the World Cup, but some other countries may not may never get to the World Cup. They not even win and get out of qualifiers. So potentially that may have an impact on those smaller countries if they have a really good player, and that may also then help them develop and get better regens as it goes along. Anyway, that's the end of that. Thank you.